Hey guys, JH and Mr. X on a pretty hot Sunday, but a nice Sunday. Just a couple of things here today, guys. Mr. X. I keep forgetting to say hello. Just a couple of little important things. A couple of guys are having my guys in Australia are having a little bit of difficulty understanding how the downswing starts, and there's a couple of different ways that you can get it. For me it's once I get to here, I just feel all my weight just go vertically down. I just feel like I want it to go like that. Now it won't continue to go down, guys, because the brain in its balancing applicational protocol internally, it'll only go down a certain way and then it will stabilise. Now, Mo Norman used to talk about buckling on the downswing. Now, I thought that what Mo meant with that was he got to here and he just sat. He used to call it buckle, sit, slide. But I think the buckle and the sitting were this, and he would go so far, but then he slid forward. We don't want to do that, but the buckle and sit is important, guys, and that is the weight just vertically going down through that trail axis for us. It just goes straight down into the ground through your feet. In Australia, in the southern hemisphere, they would go straight to China. Just think that the weight is going to China. I mentioned that to Mo, and I said, the weight going to China. Of course, he's in America, and he used to say to people, the weight's going to China. I said, Mo, it's not going to China from America. He used to love all that stuff. So when we get to the top of the swing here, I just feel like it goes this much, it goes down here, then it stabilises, and then it stays there, and then we just fire that trail arm out to the ball. Now, what's really important, guys, is that this here is the fulcrum. We don't want that fulcrum to go forward in the downswing. If we've got a golf ball here, once we've gone here, this fulcrum's got to stay there, guys. Otherwise you can't straighten your trail arm. Now the difference in this golf swing compared to most other conventional golf swings is in a conventional golf swing, if you watch a conventional golf swing, every player you've ever seen at impact has got a bent right arm. They've all got a bent right arm. Hogan, everybody, they always had a bent right arm. That's because this fulcrum is too far forward. That fulcrum's just too far forward, and it's come forward and it's taken the ability of the arm to work away from that fulcrum. But with channel lock, because we've got the trail shoulder back here, the fulcrum's way back here, and we want to keep it back there. So we can come in and we can straighten the arm because this fulcrum is not going forward like it does in a normal golf swing. It's staying back, so we can actually utilise the straightening of that trail arm. And I've never understood why in conventional teaching, and nobody could ever answer. I've asked everybody, why do you want a bent right arm at impact? You can't use maximum efficiency. Why do you want that? I've never had one teacher ever tell me. They just say, well, that's where you've got to be. You've got to be there. A couple of guys back in the early days say, well, the only way you get the arm straight is if you had your shoulder way back here and you'd be too closed. Well, maybe you would be in a conventional golf swing. If you had the ball way up here and you had your shoulder closed, you'd never get to the golf ball. I probably agree with that. So conventionally, maybe that's why it's always bent. Okay, now Mr. X, come over here. So they're just a couple of points, guys. Now, just something to get you started on the downswing. Okay, now just set up as if you're going to hit it. Now, how do we start the downswing? Okay, take it to the top. Okay, now if I said to Mr. X, I want you to start the downswing, but I don't want you to put any pressure on my hand in the downswing, which means he couldn't do that. What would he have to do? What would you have to do, Mr. X? Okay, turn around. Turn around, swing it back.
Just push out.
Yep. Okay, now if I said to Mr. X, I don't want you to go this way, Mr. X, how are you going to get the swing started? What would you do? Okay, that's the only way you could do it. There's no pressure on my hand there, guys. Take it back again. But if he pushed it forward here, straight away now immediately, that is high and outside the channel. But if he goes back here, and I said, don't put any pressure on my hand, Mr. X, what are you going to do? Now every great, like Hogan did it better than anybody, but Mo Norman did it. That's what the great players do. It's the lowering. And remember Hogan and that rider who ended up being quite critical of him. In the end, he said to he just got behind a guy, take it to the top, and he said, "This is the secret." Took it to the top, and he just did this. Al Barco, he just said, "Al," and Al said, "Well, what do I do?" He said, "You do that," and then he walked away. He said, "Keep looking back here, and do that," and he walked away. And Barco's saying, "Ben, that can't be the secret." He said, "That's the secret. Club goes this way." So in channel lock, it's really important because that immediately gets us into the channel. Okay, now just address it this way so we can see the camera. Don't come too close. Come up here a bit more. Bit more. I'll just check that and see if it's still in frame. Yeah, that's okay. You can come back a bit actually. That's all right there. Yeah. Okay, now take it to the top. Okay. Now to start down, he's doing this. Okay. Now guys, how do you do that? Okay, I'm going to ask Mr. X, how do you do that? What does that feel like? What's the key for you?
I want to get my elbow onto my ribs.
Okay. What, straight in there, not forward?
No, not forward. I want this elbow to come onto my ribs.
Okay. Okay, we'll just, okay, bang, okay. I'm sure that's what Hogan did anyway, but he had pitch elbow because he was going this way. He wanted to pivot, release the golf club. We don't want to do that. We want to stay in the pivot and fire the arms out. Okay, take it to the top again. Okay. Okay, see this elbow, guys? That's one way of doing it. Now that's a great explanation from Mr. X. Now I just put that on him and I thought, now he's feeling something. Is he going to be able to explain it? But he explained it perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, that's really, like, we're talking about advanced stuff here in channel lock, and you know, but really you might as well learn the advanced stuff early. But starting the downswing is just so important with channel lock. If we get it to here, and then just here. Yeah. See, the good thing is, huh?
Your arms on your ribs.
Yeah, but the good thing here, guys, if I just extrapolate that down, look, that club is now right on line to the ball. That's the great thing about that. I go here, up here, and then if I just lower it, look, the club lowers into the channel. That's the great thing. We didn't bring our markers today, but guys, that would be just so into the channel, it's just not funny. So there's some pretty important points, and okay, this is really atomic particle stuff of channel lock, and this is for, oh, I don't say it's for more advanced players. I mean, even if you're learning channel lock, you might as well learn these advanced aspects of it initially, but that's a good way to start it. And guys, what'll happen in a golf swing, because you're building torque in the backswing anyway, when you go back to here in the backswing, you won't just do that and all this will stop here. Yeah, there'll be parts of the body that will do that. They will just engage, they will ignite. They just do that anyway. That's what we call anatomical, hierarchical application. The body will just, from a hierarchical point of view, just apply the components of the body that it has to maintain the balance and stabilise the energy to the ball. Okay, now that was that issue. Okay, now the other thing I want to show, guys. Now set up to hit it. Now guys, in getting into the position in the backswing, what we don't want is a two-piece setup on the backswing. Now Mr. X has been doing that a bit. Now show them what you were doing before in the two-piece thing. It's getting here.
And then,
yeah, now see that, guys? We don't want that. That's what I call tipping the spine. I don't want to tip the spine at all, right? From the moment we're here at address, we have a, you know, a big rod going down through the back of Mr. X's spine into the ground, and that never changes. This always stays constant. Now, in order, we don't want any. See, if he goes over here and he that's rolling the spine into position. We don't want to do that. All we want to do is just set it in position. Now, as soon as you do that, what you'll feel as an indicator is this here, engaging. As soon as you do that. As soon as you do that, you'll feel this engage. See that? But you can get here, guys, you get here and you can roll it and nothing will happen. But if you get here and you just turn it that way, see, that immediately engages that. And then you'll know that your spine is stable. We don't want to get the spine in a position here, where we get here, we go here, and then we do that. We don't want to do that. You know, I was guilty of that in the early days of channel lock myself. But we don't want to do that because that's just changing the plane of the spine. So this is what we call spine lock. We get here. Well, I never started back here anyway. Mr. X does, but I don't because I'm here and I'm less flexible than him. So I want to start back here. So I'm already in that position. So I'm not going to go from here to there. If I want to turn my shoulders, I'll just turn it like that. And what happens, guys, when I turn it, this goes forward and the hip comes back. When you do this with your eyes closed, which I say a lot of times, if you can get here like this, get in this position here, and then turn that with your eyes closed, you'll feel how it does, how things operate, how they work, straight away. You'll feel those pressure points. I feel it there, the inside here, inside of that, like almost like those two knees are going to kiss. Yeah, so we don't want to get, if you start here, we don't want you to go here and then back cock like that. The back cock is a subtle thing, but it's got to be geometrically correct. We go to here and we just turn the shoulders like that. We turn them like that. Now as soon as I do that, I feel that happen. If I get here and I do that, I don't feel any of that. What I do is I feel the spine tilt that way. It's going the opposite, the wrong way. So they're just little subtle little pieces. Okay. Yeah, go on.
And that we missed a little bit on that first explanation of the hands dropping. What makes my hands drop is the return of this knee. Like you said, you can't just stand there and go like that.
No.
The actual little bump to the left pulls this down for me.
And again, that is the hierarchical application of body components anatomically. You've wound up with torque, now you have to unwind. You've got to get that torque unwinding in sequence. Now, because that knee was probably the last thing to stop, it has to be the first thing to start in the downswing. Now, because Mr. X is flexible, and a couple of guys have said, you know, we see Mr. X, you know, at the end of his swing, he's here, but his hips are really cleared. Well, he's very flexible. Mine won't clear like that because I'm not flexible in there. And if you're flexible in the hip girdle, you can do that. Like he has a wider stance here. He doesn't need a narrow stance like me because he can still get the hip girdle. So you can, if you're as flexible as he is, you can get there, and that'll start, and those hips will move. But as long as the shoulders stay closed, that doesn't matter. Optimally, if you had that knee move here as the precursor in the downswing with a dropping in here, if it went there and stopped and didn't continue to go, which it does with me, I don't want it to keep going because that will take my hip girdle, probably take my midriff, and then take my shoulders and take my arms. But he can do that. So if you're flexible, you can do that. But I agree with him. It doesn't start, your golf swing doesn't start with your hands, guys. It always starts with something down here. It's always a lower body component that starts. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, we haven't hit any shots. He's just going to have a hip with a couple, just a couple. Oh, okay, well, 5 o'clock nose. We're both saying off camera that what are the things that are really important to us and things that make a big difference with the quality of the ball stroke. Without question, guys, 5 o'clock nose. You know, when I get just a little bit of movement in that 5 o'clock nose, the strike is nowhere near as good. Probably takes 10 or 15% out. Sometimes it can take 20% out. But when the 5 o'clock nose is here, that really does put a lock on the trail shoulder. So 5 o'clock nose is a big must, really. How's your hands? You want to dry your hands?
No, they're actually pretty good.
Pretty good shot, first shot, eh?
Yeah.
And what's interesting, guys, is like in the old days, Mr. X was he was a gouger. You know, he would take the soup plate, Arnold Palmer type divots. But now he just, And you know, the greenkeepers used to chase him off because when he finished practicing, it looked like a, you know, like a
minefield.
Yeah, it did look like, yeah, like a minefield. But now, just so we could practice off the putting green, they wouldn't know we'd been here. And it does shallow you out, guys, no question. 5 o'clock nose. It's very, very shallow, isn't it?
My hand slipped off.
Oh, did it? Still a pretty good hit.
I was going to wipe them, but decided to go with the shot.
Oh, yeah, guys, it's here in Australia at the moment, or particularly in this area up here. You want to wipe your hands?
Yeah.
In this area up here, guys, the humidity is like 100% every day. It's like 95 at night, 1 a.m. in the morning. And we're right on the ocean here. I mean, okay, inland you don't get that humidity, so that's why we've got the humidity here off the ocean. But that still went dead straight. And that's a good thing about channel lock. Now, he's lost that club all the way down, and he's probably fifth grooved it, but it still went dead straight. That would have been just, you know, maybe front of the green instead of up to the flag. But no mishit, that's a great thing. That's perfect. That's how Tom Watson used to hit it. Used to just clip it off the ground. Does it feel alright?
That was good. That was really good. A couple of the guys on one of Bill's channels asked, on Bill's channel, asked that I don't...
MMI guys.
MMI golf, that my weight shift, it doesn't look like I'm shifting the weight.
Well, we don't really want to.
I don't feel I'm shifting any weight at all.
Yeah. So it's all around this trail axis.
It's all on the trail side. But what you'll see is as the velocity of the swing goes past me, it appears that it pulls everything past the centre. Oh well, it must do that, Mr. X, because post impact it doesn't matter, but there has to be somewhere for the energy, the stored energy and momentum to go, and that is, you know, just over there somewhere. It doesn't matter. But if someone is saying that, then that's good, because you are achieving what we want to achieve in the protocol, and that is that we want all our weight and our mass and pressure moving down into that trail area there. We don't ever want anything moving sideways or rotationally in the downswing. In the backswing, yeah, it's very much a diagonal rotation, and in the downswing it's just a diagonal sort of cross diagonal throw, but we don't want any rotation of the shoulders. But you will get that post impact. And it doesn't matter because the ball's well and truly dispatched towards the intended target. 5 o'clock nose. Yeah, it's really good, guys, when you know you're not going to hit a flubber. And I just love it because my worst shot is maybe 4th or 5th groove, and I might just get a little push, but I'm never going to get a over the top, clamp down, pull left, or a chunker. It just doesn't happen. Well, I haven't hit one shot to the left since I've been on, one pull shot or drag shot. Can't do that geometrically, not possible. Slipped? You know what I did? Let go of the club completely.
Yeah. Guys, really,
I can't hang on to it.
Yeah, really, in this weather, you really need full cords. You know, rubber grips are they're just hopeless. We put antiperspirant on the hands. I could actually see that as you started down, that club had what I call a judder. It went like that, and you could see it coming out of your hands. What somebody asked, I was trying to think the guy's name. Just asked today. He said, JH, we only see you ever hit, where do all those T's go? We only ever see you hit irons. Is channel lock okay with the driver? Well, I can't remember the guy's name. But let me tell you guys, the driver's the easiest club in the world to hit. And I said to Mr. X off camera that, and I mentioned the guy asking about it. The reason I don't hit driver most time, guys, because it's too easy. It really is a very easy club to hit with channel lock if you apply the protocol. And the protocol is, for me, I want to get my arm's in exactly the same position at address as I do with an iron. I don't want to stretch. I grip the club down. How's that?
Yeah, you're good.
If I've got, I'll just take it back a bit. Show you this, guys. And this is the consistency that you should strive to get with channel lock. If I'm going to address an iron, I want my arms in that position there. Right? See where they are? Here. I get a little bit more of the arm towards the body on the backswing. Here. You see where I am there, guys? See that formation of the arm? When I pick the driver up, it feels the same. Now, what do I have to do to make that happen? I've just got to get closer to the ball. The further you stand away from the ball, the more you'll stretch. Get your formation here and then just basically shuffle into the ball. Here. See, that's the same. That's exactly the same position as I have with the iron, with the wedge, that I have with the driver. And that's what makes the channel lock very easy and consistent for me. Now, I haven't hit any shots today, and I've been in the gym. I had the biggest workout today that I've had for so long. Just got goaded into some stuff for the young guys, and I'm stiff as a board. But even so, guys, I'll hit this great. I know I'll hit it great because the driver's easy. Look. Okay, the only thing that'll make the driver hard, guys, is this. If you don't have enough loft on your driver, this is a 10.5 head, and I've got it up 1 degree, so I've got 11.5 degrees on this club. I normally play 8.5 or 9 for conventional golf swing because I used to hit up on the ball all the time. 16 degrees up as a launch angle. But with channel lock, because it's so shallow, I'm not hitting up on it so much. I'm very level. So I need loft. And because the ball's so far back here, guys, I just need loft. So I get here like this, and I don't have any shaft angle. If you get shaft angle like that, guys, you've taken loft off the club, but you've got the club pointing way right. I don't want any shaft angle on the driver at all. See, it's dead in line, same as it is with an iron. Now here, guys, the first hit of the day. And this microphone looks like it's going to stick in. I'm going to knock it off with my chin. Okay, here we go. See how close my arms are, guys? And Mr. X can call that, but that's a perfect golf shot. First shot of the day, wasn't it?
That was perfect.
And
straight down the barrel.
So that's the good thing about it, guys. And that's with me really stiff. I'll try and loosen up. Now I've warmed up after one shot. We've got a really hard left to right wind here, and that's just a little honky-dory power draw back into the wind there. No, when I say power draw, 2 yard. It's really on the wind's behind us here. See, I'm not stretching for it, guys. Don't want to stretch for it. It's easy. Alright, I'll make a big backswing. 5 o'clock nose. That's just hammer time right there. Whew. One more. And guys, I'm really stiff. I'm really stiff. But that's a good thing, guys. You can come on and you're still going to hit it down there. Okay, you're fully warmed up, Jage. Shouldn't have been trouble warming up in 100-degree temperature. See, guys, I'm not doing this. Just hammered. So, guys, for the guys that ask about the driver, it's the easiest club in the bag to hit. But don't stretch. Don't do that. Don't do that, and don't do that. And make sure you've got a driver that's good. No point having a 9-degree driver, because with that back ball position, just won't have enough. Won't have enough. Okay, I don't think there's anything else. Anything else? Okay, guys, just some points, and I think they'll be helpful to you. Okay.